Hey everybody, Sean Allison. I'm finally back with a video here. It's been a little while since I've posted one. I've had some issues with my computer, but hopefully I've got that resolved here. This was a spearfishing trick back in June. Again, this is about a month late. I'm getting this posted here. But we're headed out of Port Aransas on Dr. Bo's boat here. Not that you guys know who that is, but this is Dr. Bo. We went offshore. This isn't a common spot we go to. We did a little bit of exploring around and went out and hit this rig that's cut off. Bottom depths, I cannot actually recall what the bottom depths were, to be honest. It is in federal waters. But we get out here, we got tied to this cutoff rig. I'm not sure if I've ever even been to this rig before, to be honest. I couldn't even tell you exactly where this is at. But Blue Oasis here, boat out of Port Aransas. Again, we're tied down on to the rig already. We've already been down there tied off. This is not the first dive going down here, but headed down, speeded up a little bit. Some Atlantic spadefish here as usual in the top kind of 20-30 feet of water. They're always hanging out there in big numbers. See some Barracuda in the distance. Saw an Amberjack already. I glanced to my right, and there's a shark. So right off the bat, I see a shark coming down here. So as I catch up to Dr. Bo here, the first things I'm going to take my right hand and put a shark fin on my head. I'm pointing out, going, hey, there's sharks out here, just making sure he's aware. We're going to be spearing fish. It's not going to stop us from spearing, but we do want to be aware of where the sharks are at all times. So kind of got my head on a swivel here. There's at least a couple of them out there, a couple of larger ones there, full adults. They're just kind of interested, checking us out. Again, we haven't shot anything yet. They're not going to move in on us or anything like that. So we're just kind of surveying around, looking around. A bunch of snapper. Mostly snapper are all kind of the same size, nothing spectacular. Big Amberjack swim up there. The dark, long, skinny thing down there in the bottom left was a Barracuda. But most of this other stuff down here low, looking down in the cloudy layer, toward the cloudy layer, are red snapper. These are all red snapper. They're all legal, but again, none of these look spectacular. I'm hoping something bigger is going to come up out of that murk layer, take a look at me, but it doesn't. So anyway, I get tired of looking at the sharks, go down, decide I'm going to go ahead and shoot something. Shoot at a red snapper, comes up in the murk here, takes a look at me. Grab him. I know the sharks are around, so I kind of want to get the fish to me quickly. I don't want to leave him down in that murk fighting around. Sharks are liable to go down there and take him off my shaft. So I grab him, kind of take him up a little bit, get him strung. We'll skip over that part. Rock hind here, a couple of spot fin butterflies there that just took off. The rock hind was the one that took off. The spot fin butterflies are the white and yellow ones. Again, lots of snapper, all roughly same size. I'd say, can't remember what the size on these fish were. They were probably, 17, 18 inches. They were legal, but again, I'm hoping for something bigger to come around. Take a shot there, and that was a total miss. So again, we're in federal waters. I've got my one red snapper strung already. I missed that one that I just shot at. So I'm kind of looking for my second one. Off in the distance here, it doesn't show on the video that great just yet, but he is inbound. There's a couple of Cobia, kind of smallish. I'm trying to guesstimate his size. One of them's coming in, the other one's kind of staying a little further back there. But he doesn't quite look legal to me. He's almost legal. He might make it, he might not, but he's too iffy to pull the trigger on, so kind of gave him a pass, but that was cool having a little Cobia come in on me. You see this clear layer here? It's dirty above and dirty below. The cloudy layer is the thermocline on bottom. It's like the bottom 20 feet. And then on the surface, I think this was after some rain. There's a real cloudy layer on the surface. And this is pretty common out here to dive on these rigs, and you get in the water and it's really dirty and you start going down. It just seems like it's just not diveable. A lot of times you can get down and hit a clear layer like this and hunt effectively through the entire rig. There's a rainbow runner here. See that yellow tail, long slender body. Don't see those solo very often, and don't usually see them swimming inside the rig. You usually see a group of them swim by the outside of the rig. Amberjack coming up to buzz me here. Again, I'm still looking for my second red snapper. Just kind of scanning around. If there's anything else worth shooting at, maybe that's not a red snapper, maybe a big gray, something like that, I wouldn't hesitate to take a shot on. So this guy gave me a real easy profile shot. I just went ahead and popped him, completed my bag for my red snapper there. So I got those two guys strung. Now I'm just really hunting gray snapper or anything else that might swim up to me. There's a gray down here. I'm going to take a shot at this gray. Unfortunately, I missed him. That fish kind of turned sideways, but he was not on. That was not the fish on the shaft. That was just a fish getting spooked from me pulling that shaft up. So again, I'm toward the end of the dive here. I'm just kind of looking for grays. I see a gray down here. See this darker one? The reds are the lighter colored ones. The darker one's the gray snapper. Shot him. He's not super big, but he's big enough to put on the stringer and make a couple fillets out of. So I don't really want to drag him behind me. I'm going to pull him to me. That amberjack will full on come and just inhale that guy if I leave him trailing on the shaft behind me like that at the end of that line. See that amberjack moving in now. Barracuda will do the same thing. I know the shark's around, so I want to get these fish kind of strung up and killed in a hurry and kind of head up with them. I don't want them kicking around and thrashing on top of putting lots of blood and scent in the water. All right, so here you see a lot of little light dashed lines in the distance. They're really hard to see on the video here. There are hundreds of sharks. I don't know if they're juveniles. It's probably the biggest school of sharks I've ever seen. But they're small. They're maybe 3-4 foot. They could be adult Atlantic sharknose, or they could just be juvenile sharks of another species. I don't know. They weren't close enough for me to get an ID, but whole lots of them. More than I could count. But that was pretty cool to see. So, getting into my time here, check my gauges. About time to head up. Start heading up the line, look back. Of course, that amberjack's trailing me. He's hoping I'm going to drop a fish or something on my way. But he ain't going to want to get too far away from the rig. Already you see him. He's kind of doubling back, heading back down now. But that's kind of the end of the video here. Heading up, hit my safety stop. Got my fish on my stringer. Hanging out with the spades for my 3 minutes. Then I'll hit the surface here. And we head home. Pretty simple trip. Just simple federal snapper day. Got our 2 reds and a gray for a bonus. And, can't wait to get out there and do it again.